Let's move that toolbar over a little bit, and hey, welcome back everybody to Stardew Valley. It is time, what you've been held for in suspense for so long. We're gonna stall even more. What's the weather looking like? Clear and sunny tomorrow. Yep, no surprise there. The fortune teller says it is... Yes, excellent. I thought I was gonna see that red skull, I'm not gonna lie. I was not expecting the opposite. The spirits are very happy today, and you know what? I'm very happy today. They will do their best to shower everyone with good fortune. And that means, ladies and gentlemen, with one very, very small, well, technically two, very small detours, we're going mining today. The two detours are pretty simple. One, we've got more parsnips. There's a gold star in there. I'm going to hang on to that on the off chance we actually manage to get enough of those. I don't think that's going to happen, but hey, you never know. The rest I'll sell. Basically, from this point until the egg festival where you can get the strawberry seeds, if you've got seeds of any kind, the spring seeds, the carrot seeds, if you found any more carrot seeds, anything like that, don't buy more seeds, save for the strawberries. But if you have seeds, just replace what you finish, that's all. If stuff is ready to be plucked, pluck it on up, and just fill it back in with whatever else you got for seeds. Don't spend your money on them, though. But that is good. We've got more parsnips, we've got a couple carrots, and since we're going mining, that's going to be really helpful. And the other thing, of course, that I want to check for is our spring onions. And even though I said there's only two things, we might also go ahead and make some tappers today as well with what we've got, because we got that recipe at the end of yesterday. And I do absolutely want to get started on those as soon as possible. A lot of good stuff you can make through using those. And at the very least, I know for sure with the maple syrup, it's used in at least one quest. So we're going to want it for that too. I will be needing to cut down that tree soon, but I'm not going to do that right now. We're going to worry about that at a later date. The way that the tree growth works is there's always a chance for seeds like this to be planted, and provided that you've not put anything on it like tree fertilizer, it will have a small chance at the end of each day to grow by one stage. So theoretically, one could grow extremely quickly, or they could take forever, which is probably more likely what's going to happen. But that's besides the point. Alright, I don't need the axe, I need the pickaxe, and I need the sword. Other than those, I'm going to hang on to the carrots because, as you can see, these are very good for energy. These are very, very helpful, so do hang on to those if you are looking for a good energy boost. I might come back for some of these dandelions, but we're going to see what our spring onion situation is looking like first. As today is Tuesday, there is no need for the traveling merchant for me to check because she's not there, and since it is the 9th and not the 10th, there is no need for me to check the calendar because I can already tell you the next birthday is not till tomorrow with Vincent. So there will be no need for me to go milling about anywhere. Oh, speaking of dandelions. And yes, I could check the beach for forageables. I could, but today's a mining day. It's been overdue, and if the spring onions popping up to give me even more energy are not enough of a go-ahead by the game, I don't know what is. Will look pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and get myself back up to full here and take up some of these, or remove some of these excess inventory spots. I'll keep the rest of these for now. But yes, it is high time for mining. I'm very excited for that. Very, very excited. Because we've only been in the mines one day thus far, out of a potential, if we're including day 5. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 5 days. It's just other stuff came up that, while admittedly was important, and arguably in some cases more important, it just was a case of there was always something else, right? So this right here, the tapper, wood and copper bar, place on a maple, oak, or pine tree and wait for the reservoir to fill with product. You're going to want to make a bare minimum of these as soon as you can 3. 1 for a maple tree, 1 for an oak tree, and 1 for a pine tree. I've only got enough for 2, but that is not going to stop me from making 2 of these. So you might be saying, but you cut down all the trees on your farm. Well, I kept that pine tree specifically for, and you know what, I should probably start with that one, specifically for a tapper. So we're going to put one on that tree. And I also usually don't cut down the trees at the bus stop, or at the very least not two of them, because this one right here is an oak, and then this one up here is a maple if you need either of those. It's also an excuse to grab another one of these. Well, they did say the spirits are happy. There's a lot of forageables out here today. Which, of course, that is one of the things luck affects, is how many of those will pop up. But I'm still glad to see them. So yeah, my heaviest recommendation is probably doing the oak resin above all else. The pine is probably the least, and if I'd been smarter, I probably would have put it on the two up at the bus stop. But that said, ideally, we're going to have enough to make a tapper by the end of the day. And surely we can manage to get enough for 2 copper bars on a good luck day. But, that said, there's only one way to be sure. I didn't fill up your water bowl, I need to do that. Take it from personal experience, the last thing you want is a very, very mad Callie. It will not end well for you. Even when she's in a good mood, it doesn't often end well for people that she runs across. So if she's in a bad mood, it definitely won't end well. So we're just gonna cut that right off at the pass and not let it happen. Yeah, I can feel it. We're gonna have a good mining day today. There's some more carrot seeds, which are always appreciated. Again, these are very good, as you've seen. For like, if you're coming in with spring onions, those are nice, but this is 75 energy compared to 13. Like, yeah, you could eat several spring onions and still not match a single carrot. Even the leeks aren't anywhere close. They're almost double what a leek is at normal quality, so that should tell you something. No, I haven't come here to ridicule you. Just came by to drop off a little gift for you. Linus is very easy to please. If you have any forageable, give him that. Even forageables that literally everybody else hates, he will like. He's very easy to please in that regard. Just give him stuff that grows wild, and he will love it. It's not on his love list, but it's on his like list, so that'll be good enough. Already, we are seeing the benefits here from a good luck day. It's times like these you learn to love again, and also that you wish you had a bomb and just smash all these things in one solid, clean hit. Get a bunch of stone. Get a bunch of copper. We do also need to work on making sure we kill 10 slimes to get into the adventure... Oh god, not one of these. Into the Adventurers Guild. I cannot stand these enemies, these little bee things. They're a pain in the butt. Thankfully, there's going to be a way to deal with them a little bit easier coming up pretty soon here. There's a mining level. Now that I know for sure these gray rocks are the ones that give experience and that the other ones don't. Don't get me wrong, if you were going strictly for speed and nothing else, you would not want to break the gray rocks as they're going to take up more energy. But if you do want to get that mining level up, which is going to make the pickaxe take less energy to use, yeah, you're obviously going to want to break those. And the good news is they almost always drop at least 2 stone. So you're building up your stone supply too, which you will need. It is a... I think it even says it on here. Yeah, a common material with many uses in crafting and building. So you're going to want a lot of this. It is probably the material up there with wood used the most. But again, these copper nodes for the time being... Oh my gosh, would you get out of here? Copper is going to be another one of the big ones for getting your experience. As you can clearly already see, as it's happened on every floor at least once, if not multiple times, the little bug things are going to be popping up once you get to a certain floor, which I believe is 15. As opposed to just having the slimes and the... I think they're called Duggies. Oh, well. Here we go. I'm just just gonna grab this and get out of here. As you can see, the area around my screen turned green there. That means that I was about to get attacked by, I don't know if it's called an ambush specifically. It'll pop up on screen what it is now. I'll make one of the ones morphosizing or metamorphosing into a flying bug. I'm just gonna grab this copper and leave. He can damage me if he wants. I'm out. No thanks. But yeah, the ambush is basically they're gonna keep sending whatever enemy type they want at you until that ambush ends. And guess what? It's the flying bugs. Big surprise there, huh? This is a floor that does not have a specific ladder on it, but it is built in a very interesting way. It's just essentially a spiral into the inside. And if you can get to the inside, though it is a little bit time-consuming to do so, there's usually a ton of crates and barrels in there. So if you're looking to break through a bunch of those to try to find something useful, it might potentially, depending on how much time you've got, be worth your time to go to the center of the area. I personally say if you can do it, then yes, and just break the ore deposits and the gray rocks along the way. So at the very least, you're getting experience and you're getting materials out of this. Because while it probably won't happen, as it's like you got a pretty good chance to find stuff, it is possible you get to the center and get literally nothing. Odds are that won't happen, but yeah, it can. It can happen, sure. And there's the ladder. That's the other thing, is if you're breaking rocks on the way there, you'll more than likely find a ladder. As you can see, there's just a bunch of stuff here, though. Bunch of junk. None of this is new other than the two things here. The basic retaining soil. This is basically poop. I hate to say it. Like, I mean, technically, in a way, yeah, it is fertilizer, so it is poop. But its ability is terrible. The soil has a chance of staying watered overnight. That chance will pop up on screen. There's better versions of this as well. But, yeah, the thing about this is there's only one version of this that's good because it's 100%. Otherwise, like, the only reason to use this is if you had no other fertilizer to use at all. And it was like, you know what? Might as well. Here we have the sneakers. These are basically pointless. I don't know why these exist. I don't think they combine into anything. But most of all, even the basic shoes that you would have by this point, because of level 10, they don't even get the immunity that those shoes have either. So yeah, they're basically pointless. What isn't pointless, though, is the steel small sword. As you can see, it does more damage and it is faster than the rusty sword, which will make dealing with those bugs a little bit easier, which I definitely approve of and appreciate. I know I kind of ran into that guy, but I wanted to make sure I got him before he cocooned. Oh, I see you up there. Yeah, come here, you. I don't know if we ever discussed why I'm, like, so insistent on getting rid of those crab things. The reason why is they have a chance to drop crab. And that's usually one of the things I put here. It usually ends up being the mussel, the clam, the oyster, the cockle, and the crab are usually the 5 I get. These other ones, unless they are sold by the traveling merchant, I believe the only way to reliably get them, I guess other than getting lucky with the trash can, is crab pots. And I've already said I don't want to deal with the crab pots unless I gotta. And ironically enough, I believe your reward for doing all that is getting crab pots. So, because remember how I mentioned there was usually like, you get about 3 or 5 of them, however many, and I just use the ones the game gives you? That was what I was referring to. Look at those carrots working their magic. That was almost full energy from empty just from those 3 carrots. I know there's a ladder, but again, well, there's a closer one now. But again, I'm looking for those copper deposits. Even if you're like, you're going slow through here, like you could be making it to floor 30 if you were going quickly. Yeah, but I wouldn't be making as much copper, and the copper is more important. Plus, getting the mining level up is important, too. You want to make sure you're not having to, later on, not use as much energy to break these rocks. Because you're seeing that the gray ones are taking 2 hits. Once you hit a certain level, all the rocks are going to start doing that unless you've upgraded your weapon. And guess what? You're going to be needing the copper from these copper ores, or from the copper nodes. You're going to be needing those all of a sudden. One of these stupid ambushes. I just ate a bunch of carrots, so even any health that I had lost prior, I would have gotten back at this point. swing like a madman here. See if there's any... Yeah, there's more copper here. I'm not going to pick that up while there's a bunch of these guys attacking me, but I can still walk around a little bit. These guys, like, while they're annoying, absolutely they're annoying. I've already voiced my displeasure on these things. While they are annoying, they are far from the most, like, dangerous enemy you could run across. There are definitely worse ambushes you could get on later floors. Because they hit me a bunch and they still barely did anything. And yeah, part of that's the boots, sure, but even without, they're not going to hit you for, like, 50 damage or anything. You're still very, very early in the mines, so they're going to give you plenty of time to get accustomed to this. How are we doing on that initiation? No, go back. What? Interesting. 6 out of 10. Okay. I'm not sure what that blank thing is. I think it's the build a coop. I'm pretty sure, because I haven't done that yet. So I'm pretty sure it's asking me to build a coop. And I say nay. Because A, that's not where you get the horse from. You get that from the stable. And B, again, build the silo first. And then once you've got some hay in there and you can actually, like, you know, give animals their food, then consider building a coop. But until then, yeah, you're kind of wasting your time there. One moment, I need to move that a bit. Okay, we're at 24. I could only see the 2, and I was like, well, I know we're in the 20s because I got the sword. Red hoodie, huh? Well, red's not really my color, but thanks. A third small glow ring, that's gonna have to get sold. 2, like, I'm not going to need in the long run. I definitely do not need 3. As for what we're dropping here... This is only one thing of mixed seeds. This will sell for a little bit more, the rubber boots. Here, so what you should have for your footwear is these 2 combined at this point. Which you will have because it's floor 10's reward. But the thing is, I can't even sell those sneakers and those rubber boots right now anyway, because you sell those at the Adventurers Guild, and you can't drop them off in the chest at your house. For whatever reason. But because you have to slay the 10 slimes to get into the guild, I literally cannot get rid of them other than just throwing them away. Well, we're going to have lots of bug meat, so that's never going to be an issue. Or at the very least, it won't for a long, long time. So we got that going for us, at least. We have leveled up in combat and mining both, so we're good to keep going for a little ways here, because I have not been using up my energy that much. The good news about the ambushes is that's always a chance for an enemy, provided that they are killed in an area where they can drop a staircase, that they will. And because the sword doesn't use energy, fighting monsters is a good way to get a staircase drop without having to consume your energy. So do consider it when you're looking for, how do I get through a couple more floors, but I don't have a lot of energy left. Go beat up the monsters on that floor. They might drop the staircase for you. I'm going to try to go through here a little bit quickly and see if we can get to 30 with any luck. No, I think ultimately we're probably not going to be able to, because I forgot we're going to have to make the trip all the way back. And I think it's probably time we start doing that, because this is about the same distance that I'd have to make while I was fishing to get back. Maybe a little bit more, even. So we're going to be sprinting on back. But hey, when I said we were doing a pretty full trip in the mines, I was not kidding. We filled up an inventory. We used a very, very big chunk of the day there. And we got a lot done, too. That is a lot of copper in a single day for this early in the game. 77. Bearing in mind, you get a bar for every 5 of those. I've got some coal in me, so as I run by, I'm just going to, like, throw it in the the furnace. The copper bars do not take long at all to be procured, but we can just do that real quick, and then I can drop what I need to in here. I guess we'll drop that in here too, why not? We'll drop this. And ideally, I would like to go mining again, but we're going to see what the spirits look like tomorrow. Level 2 mining, pickaxe proficiency, which is always good, and staircase. This is a surprisingly helpful item for being only at level 2. If you've got 99 stone, you can just drop a staircase right at your feet. You might be thinking, that's a lot of stone. It is, and for early level mines, don't ever use this, but for other stuff later on, this might come in handy. And level 2 combat, the life elixir. This is not as good as it once was, but yeah, this does allow you to craft something that is specifically for your health, not your energy. Ultimately, you're probably not going to use this, but the extra 5 health is nice. Yeah, got a little bit out of those parsnips there. Again, not much. I guess I haven't really talked about what the highest, like, you know, if you're wanting to specifically make money, like, what crops do I plant? It's obviously not the parsnips. They're 35 each and you pay 20 for them. The strawberries, I think, are pretty much universally agreed to be the best ones. But not counting those, the potatoes are pretty good because you get chance for multiple potatoes every single time you harvest one. Spirits are mad. Of course they are. But it is going to rain all day tomorrow. Interesting. Alright, well, unfortunately it looks like mining is out of the... Well, it's not out of the question, but I'm probably not going to be doing it today as a result. Maybe I will. We'll play it by ear. The first thing, of course, I need to do is water the crops. And even though you guys have been seeing the, oh, here's the goals for day whatever, so you can kind of get an idea where we are going forward, I'm at least going to talk myself through what we're doing today. Other than checking for the spring onions, it is Vincent's birthday today, so I want to make sure I give him those grapes that I picked up. Hello Internet, future pitmarthroy here, once again, talking to you about what you should give Vincent for his birthday. With Vincent's love lists, oddly enough, despite me bashing it for most of the episode, your best bet probably would be to get a snail from a crab pot. If by some miracle you do have the recipe to make these, or you buy them from Willy, then there is a chance you could find a snail, and there you go, you've given him something on his love list. At least in year 1, you're probably not going to have any of these other things, but by the time you get to year 2, you should have plenty of grapes, because they are both a summer forageable and also a farming crop in fall, and you can just keep giving him grapes over and over, and you're good to go. For Vincent's like list, pretty much the daffodil. Yeah, the daffodil's nice and easy, it's a spring forageable, you should have plenty of these by this point, and it's a nice easy one to go with. So, yeah, daffodil, nice and simple. If by some miracle you don't have a daffodil and cannot find one on Vincent's birthday, for his neutral list, he only likes the universal neutrals. Those are actually shown below, which, again, as one would expect, are just a list of things that are neutral to almost all villagers. There are some exceptions to this rule, but Vincent does not have any exceptions to the rules of universal neutrals. So, if you somehow don't have a daffodil, consider one of these for his birthday present. Alright, there's our crops watered. Cut down some of that junk that's probably in the way. Good morning, Callie. What are we doing on earnings? Yeah, we're doing pretty good. I did say I was going to put stuff in here, and then I did not do it because I was not paying attention. But that's fine, because by the time we get back again, these copper bars will absolutely be done. So we'll toss those in there, head out, and go check for those spring onions. Even now, because of the berry harvest getting close, honestly, if you get to level 4 foraging and get the double berries, and you just take the days of the berry harvest and just go around harvesting the berries, you probably just made the spring onions obsolete by doing that alone, because they give you, I believe, equal if not more health, and you're going to have a lot more of them because they're consistently going to be there, and it's going to be in a much bigger number than, like, at best 20, and at worst, nothing. So then you'll get to that point and just say, you know what, I don't need the spring onions anymore. And if you utilize them correctly, they'll carry you pretty far, and by the time that you run out of them, you've got plenty of other ways to get your energy back, and your levels are high enough to where you're not using as much energy either. So you're going to be all good on that front. Alright, that's the spring onions. I do definitely want to go and give Vincent the grapes. I'd like to explore the beach and grab some stuff there, and I do need to drop off those things at the community center that I didn't last time. So this might be a not foraging, but kind of poke around, see what you can find day, and after you're done, go fishing type of scenario here. More of those off. I'm going to take 2 of these, actually, and do that. Those off. The grapes, thank you. Mussel and oyster. As you've already seen with, like, donating this stuff, unless it's the quality crops bundle, the quality of whatever you're donating does not matter, so make it the lowest level quality one. Alright. We have got our plan in motion. And sadly for poor Vincent, like so many of us do, if you've got a birthday on that thing, he will be at the library on the 10th. He's in school. The equivalent as a child... the child equivalent to working on your birthday, which, you know, school is... It's basically a job where instead of... I do need to grab a bream at some point. It's essentially, you know, you're working for experience, is what it is. Which definitely sucks. Man, speaking of definitely sucks, he almost caught me there. Good thing you didn't. So when it comes to grabbing these beach forageables, this is kind of a do it from time to time type of thing, same as other forageables, but early on, yeah, you want to come down here and make sure you've got like a fair bit of coral on you because it's used for a warp totem for the beach. So the coral will definitely help with that. And you definitely want to be poking around for a sea urchin or any of the forageables like the cockle, the mussel, the clam, to be able to put those in the community center. Once you've got a good supply of coral and have taken care of all that, though, you don't really need to outside of checking it for new things depending on the season. There will be additional things that you'll be able to find there in other seasons that you won't be able to find in spring. So do keep an eye out for that. Oh, he looks bored out of his skull, too. Happy birthday, man. Is that a birthday present? Can I open it now? Well, you don't really open grapes, but... Oh, wow, this is exactly what I wanted. Yeah. Nice. This Penny says I have to read this book before I can go play. Oh, rip, dude. We don't have a school here, but I'm doing my best to give Vincent and Jazz a proper education. Well, thank you. Jazz doesn't have anything to say. Hey, Gunther, I'm just going to leave and not talk to you. He's not somebody you can build up hearts with anyway. Hey, sorry in advance if I say anything rude. I didn't get much sleep last night. You know what? I've been there many times. So I get you all too well. Hey, Lewis, I saw you earlier. Ah, I see you've been spending some time in the community center. It's good to know someone's taking care of the place. I wouldn't go that far, but thanks. Hey, Alex, I don't talk to you a lot. Looks like a good day to play catch, huh? I'd ask you to throw the ball around, but you don't really seem like the sports types. I'm fine just watching you from a distance. I want to play catch with you, or what's that supposed to mean? I want to play catch with you. Really? I guess I underestimated you. My arm's a little sore, but maybe next time. Every now and again when you talk to somebody, you'll get little things of dialogues like that, and if you say the quote-unquote right thing to them, it'll actually give you more friendship points with them. So, usually these are pretty obvious on what you need to do. Time's been tough lately. I got laid off as my job as a bus driver. If I got that job back, I could drive you to Calico Desert. Hey, I don't have to be coy about that anymore. Yes, that's where the bus will take you, to the deserts. I can finally just not be coy about that. And our next birthday is not until after the Egg Festival, which is Haley's. That bookseller's coming into town, but I can tell you right now, there's not going to be much to do there. Remember to cover your mouth when you sneeze. Then make sure to wash your hands. Don't worry, this is the post times. This is not the before times, so people will remember that. Of course, this game came out before, you know, the fabled COVID. Just keep dropping more of these in just every time I pass by. And yeah, we're not able to get into the Adventurers Guild yet. Yeah, that's weird that just disappeared. Like, I'll keep that build a coop on there for a while. I don't know why it just got, like, whited out like that. I didn't corrupt any of my files or anything, or add any mods. There are plenty of mods for the game, by the way. I've never talked about that, but there are plenty of mods. And some of them are just, like, straight up just there specifically to help, of, like, every time that you do anything that would give you experience anything, it will flash on screen of, like, oh, this gives you 1 experience or 5 experience or however much. So you can actually see how much you're making in terms of experience and where is good and where is bad. So it definitely can be useful. Alright. So we took care of Vincent. I kind of poked around for forageables and stuff. I don't need to get to 5, like, right this second. 4 was more important than 5, especially since that was the +1 in wild berry harvesting. And the big one for, like, really upping the value of those berries is level 10, and we're not going to get there before when that starts. Mining I kind of don't want to do, specifically on the grounds that it's really bad luck day, so I kind of do want to avoid that. Farming we're done with, so unfortunately that kind of just does leave fishing. But I've changed my mind. I'm making the executive decision right now to go grab this daffodil instead. And we're going to go mining. I want to show the difference. We just had a really good luck day in mining. Let's see what a really bad luck day looks like. Maybe give you an idea of exactly how wide the gap is, or maybe it's not as wide as you think. That, and also this is a chance to throw more copper bars into the furnace. So there's that too. But you know what? We've got time for like a smaller expedition. We've got plenty of spring onions, and our energy is still pretty high up there. So we have absolutely got the opportunity to do this for sure. Toss those in. Take that. I left the sword in here. Yep, sure did. I could have, like, dropped these geodes off and stuff and, like, taken some of the... Which I guess really the only thing was the diamond, which I want to keep in the rare disc, so not too big a deal. I could have made a trip to the mix of going to the blacksmith and then usually followed immediately by the museum to donate anything, but it's not too big a deal yet. Those rewards are nice, don't get me wrong. But again, like, usually you want to try to make bigger trips for that, unless there's a specific reward in the museum that you want. And yes, there are ones that will specifically pop up when you donate a specific item that we've not seen yet. That's alright, man. Here. Those usually aren't for a lot, and honestly, one of their best uses is probably to give to Linus. So, how are we doing on relationship stuff? Yeah, see, this is what a loved gift will give you. We did not have any hearts with Vincent. We now have 3. So, if you are trying to build up a friendship with somebody, give them a gift they love on their birthday. That's why I was worried about, like, oh, what am I going to do for Vincent specifically? And then got lucky with some grapes. But you, thankfully, got to see on screen of, like, here are some good options for Vincent. And I usually intentionally try to pick stuff that, by this point, you would have. At least one thing on that list that you would have pretty likely. Because, you know, it's only day 10. Like, people are going to be like, oh, that's not on his love list. And it's like, yeah, you probably don't have, like, a high-level recipe that, A, you have to get friendship with somebody else for them to give it to you, and B, you need a kitchen to make it. You're probably not going to have that item. Unless the traveling merchant had it like they did with the grapes, or it was in a trash can and you got really lucky. Okay, that is the initiation done. You successfully dispatched 10 slimes. Now you can enter the Adventurers Guild. This is one of the upsides to coming in here on quote-unquote unlucky days. There will be more monsters, but that also means that there will be more monsters. Which means, of course, you can get more combat experience through this. So it's not like end of the world. If you're going for resources, don't go on a bad day. But if you're going to slay some monsters, get some experience that way, not a bad idea. I will go and enter the guild, even though there's no reward for doing that, just to get the quest off of my screen, once we get to floor 30 here. Thankfully, it doesn't do anything, at least not to my knowledge, of like enemies have more health when you've got an unlucky day or anything like that. You might see more enemies, but I don't think their stats or anything like that change. I'm still kind of poking around here for resources. Also slightly because of enemies to kill. If you see a minecart like this, I don't remember if I mentioned that, but do right-click on that. It'll drop a bunch of coal. It'll only ever do it the first time you interact with it, but coal can be potentially, and I talked about this when we got the kiln, it can be potentially hard to come by. Not always, but sometimes you'll just run out, in particular if you're not going back to the middle section of the mines where a lot of enemies drop coal there. We haven't gotten there yet. But if you don't go there a lot, yeah, it's entirely possible you could run out of coal. So do keep an eye out for those to boost that count. Despite the fact of me killing the first enemy on the first floor I got, you're also getting to see now that it's very likely on a bad luck day, this is the actual issue you could genuinely run into, is just not being able to find the staircase. And yeah, it does lower that chance. Not by as much as you think it would, but it does. This is nice about playing the single player. That bug can just take all the time in the world to get to me, and I can just sit here and just do this over and over. I'm sorry, did you want to come attack me? Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to eat like another half a dozen spring onions. Just give me a minute here. Breath is gonna stink to high heaven. That's how I'm gonna get rid of you. Nothing, huh? Alright, back up we go. This probably goes without saying, but yes, the game does have to drop you at least one staircase. It can't just strand you on a floor and be like, nope, you're not getting a staircase today. When we said bad luck, we meant it. No staircase for you. There it is. I'm going to grab this enemy over here. Oh, another one of you, too. I didn't even see you. Usually you can tell because they're not lined up correctly with how the rocks are placed, but sometimes they are, and as a result you don't see them until you like try to hit it with a pickaxe and it doesn't break or something like that. If you do hit those guys with a pickaxe enough times, it will cause their armor to break off, and then you can just damage them normally because they don't have that defense. But most of the time, just wailing on them will work perfectly fine, as you've clearly already seen me do with other ones. We'll get back over here. There we go. No, I didn't mean send in a second one. I was talking to the other guy to get back to where it could drop the staircase. Away with you. Got some new ideas to sleep on. That's good. You just heard that little noise. That was the sound of a critical hit. There's level 30. No reward, but again, I am going to dip out real quick. And where is it? Go to the Adventurers Guild, which is open until you pass out, which is good but bad because it also means it's not open till 2 in the afternoon either, which is kind of annoying. But there we go. Here's the guild. Ooh, I got a small magnet ring. Yep. Glow ring, goodbye. I'm going to have to put that magnet ring on. And I'm going to sell this glow ring, actually. So you can buy some stuff here. As you progress further through the mines, this set of weapons will increase. Like, the big ones aren't here. But honestly, probably don't buy any of this. You're probably better off just waiting for a better weapon in the mines itself. Waiting for an enemy to drop it, or getting to a treasure chest where you're going to get one. Or, in the case of, like, the rings, crafting it. So just don't bother with that. Up here is a monster eradication goal. This is part of getting your perfection, is clearing out all of these goals. And we're actually almost done with one of them, if you can believe it. And you will get rewards for that. If you talk to this guy over here, Gil, if you complete a reward, and it will pop up, it'll let you know on the bottom of like, hey, you finished this thing, go talk to Gil and get a reward. Some of them are really, really good rewards that you will want to pick up. So do not sleep on those. Oh, Lord, here we are. Remember when I mentioned that there's a couple of cave areas that just absolutely suck? Welcome to the 30s. Sorry, that just reminded me of my own mortality and the fact that I'm going to be turning 30 in about 3 months. Anyway, the 30s, yeah, if you don't have a glow ring, I'm going to hate to burst your bubble. This is going to suck a lot for you. You're going to be fumbling around in the dark a ton. And as somebody who's had to fumble around the dark in this a lot, let me give you some advice if you don't have a glow ring. Oh, there's an enemy right there. Come here, you. The first thing is every time you break a rock, if you cannot see directly in front of you, the first thing you should do is be breaking the rocks you can see. There we go. But after you do that, immediately like walk forward where you just broke that rock. And if you can't walk forward, that means you just uncovered the staircase and you should right-click to go down the stairs. It can be difficult to see that at times, there's no doubt about it. So that is a good way to check and make sure that you didn't uncover the stairs, and then because you genuinely couldn't see the stairs, you just walked right past them, and now you're like, I've broken every rock that I've seen. Where the heck are the staircase? Or where the heck is the stairs? Which I am thankfully getting pretty lucky right here, so if we could expand that luck to one more floor, I would appreciate it a lot, so I can get to at least 35 and get through half of this nightmare here. A little bit of good luck would go a long way right now. I probably have something else on the second row of my toolbar to also break these, but quit missing, that would also help. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get back in time, but I do want to get to this next floor. Oh, but I put myself in a bad spot because there's nothing I can even eat here. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but we're going to see what happens if you pass out, I guess. But I'm not going to pass out in the mines at the very least, so... Again, I think, at least from my research, I'm pretty sure the only difference is passing out in your house versus not passing out in your house. I think that's the only difference. Now, getting knocked out by enemies, like running out of health, that's different. So that is what you want to do, even less than passing out. It looks like we're just going to hang out on the back roads here. I'm not going to let y'all see me pass out. I'm just going to hang out behind this bush. I know I can't make it back in the required time here. Yeah, your character falls asleep, gets a bunch of Z's. And there you go. So yeah, I'll take a money penalty, but I will not take an energy penalty because I leveled up mining and got the miner's treat, which is an okay thing. I actually don't remember what's required to craft this off the top of my head. But we're going to do a quick little check here and find out. Even though we should be ending the video. Miner's treat. I don't say... Oh, it's like when you have to bake. That's why that recipe would be in the kitchen. I'm not going to continue playing, but I do want to show off that. Hey, it's raining. Yeah, look, I found you last night. You were unconscious and someone was searching your pockets. I have no idea how much money they took. They ran away as soon as I approached. Be more careful, Linus. I've already shown the penalty on screen, so I'm not going to again. But yeah, you want to try to obviously avoid that. But it is raining, men. Hallelujah. I already made that joke with episode 2 of It's Raining Fish. It's raining, comma, fish. But yes, we're going to go ahead and end things off here. We're going to let time progress on. But as you can see, the episodes are going to slowly, once there's less cutscenes, they're dipping down in time. And I won't have to water the crops tomorrow, so that'll be a nice little bonus for me. As for what I'll be doing, not 100% sure. And nor are you, but we'll find out in the next one. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next episode, where at the very least, we're going to be working on more of these copper bars. I might go poke around and see if I can find some clay and get Robin to work on that silo pretty quickly here, So I'd like to get that done. But we are also approaching the Egg Festival here, and I do need to be making me some more money. So it'll probably be a fishing day as well. But we'll see how things look. Until then, take care, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.